What is going on, guys? I'm here to update you on all of the things that are happening within Run Pure Sports this week. NFL regular season is over, but not without bringing in another 100K winner.
Big congrats to Get Freaky, who took down 106K on the crazy Sunday night Showdown slate, and yet another shout out to BigT with another 74K hit in NBA.
Make sure you guys keep an eye out for all of our upcoming NFL playoff content. We'll have our usual playbook, core plays, and showdown content, in addition to a playoff print factory and 2 wood shows that will cover Saturday and Sunday slates.
We are also running it back with a new underdog promo in time to enter their great playoff best ball contest. Just use the promo code RUNPURE and you will get up to a $100 deposit match on your first deposit. No better time to sign up. We will also have another underdog playoff show this week to review drafting strategy.
That is all we got for this week. It has been a great NFL season and things are just heating up as we head into the playoffs. Thank you for checking us out and of course, keep running pure with us.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. 9-game slate. Should be a lot of fun. Looks like there's going to be some chalk that we're going to get to. I think there's some clear plays that going to be very high owned. Some good pivots. 9 games. You can always fade some chalk. Joined by my 2 boys, DC, AP. DC's got his Chiefs hat. AP and I were talking a little playoff football before. He's rolling with the Chiefs, of course. He's confident. Should be a lot of fun. Going to go to you first, AP. How's it going today? 9-game slate. You've already got the heat map going. What's your thoughts on the slate?
Yeah, if you want to get us too excited, we just talk about Mahomes. We talk about the Chiefs. Going to be a very fun weekend. We're talking about what? The KC -12. Easiest bet of the weekend. I can get on board with that. This slate tonight looks like a ton of fun. I was last night was, man, it was hurtful, that late game. I stacked the early game really hard, had a ton of Giddey, had a ton of Shea, and obviously locked Dinwiddie, had a bunch of Kuzma, and then I had to turn the game off at halftime. I couldn't take it anymore. Like, it was literally like 37-34, and I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. So tonight, though, I think this is a really fun slate. We have a lot of good spots to target. We're still waiting on some news, but I feel very good about the slate tonight.
Yeah, definitely agree. Yeah, last night's game was crazy. I mean, a lot of people, I think, turned it off at halftime. It was a high school girls basketball game, I think, in the first half with the score and everything. Second half, though, man, what a half that was. Coffee went absolutely crazy. The game got really fun. The Clippers came back. I enjoyed that game for sure. You didn't want to stack it in DFS, though. That is for sure. But fun slate. DC, I'll go over to you. How's your day been going? You got the Chiefs hat on. You wavered, as we talked about at pre-show. You've been wavering back and forth all year. The Chiefs have been looking bad, then good, this and that. But I think you're on board right now. What are your thoughts on the playoffs? Any Super Bowl predictions, too, if you have any for us?
Yeah, I'm an emotional guy. You know, I'm not as even keeled as AP over there. The Chiefs give me a bad performance. They hurt my DFS teams, and I'm stunned for a day or two. But I always come back to Mahomes and the Chiefs. Super Bowl prediction. I mean, who else could it be? It's Chiefs. It's Chiefs Packers, right? Chiefs Packers is the best Super Bowl. We'll see Rodgers and Mahomes go at it. Can't wait for it. And yeah, things are good. You guys talking about that game? I had a little bit of a similar experience. I decided to get a little contrarian, so I stacked the Raptors and Suns game last night on my main, just with all the minutes, right? The minutes were so secure with the Raptors guys out. It was one of those games where it's like nobody could hit a shot, right? It was close throughout. I just missed the cash line, but like it went like 30 points below the total. You know those times when you're watching it and you got like a game stack and it's like, Van Vliet passes to Siakam, brick. Then it's Chris Paul passes to Mikal Bridges, brick. And like nobody gets the rebound, it like bounces out of bounds. And you're just like, how did I have like 8 stars on the floor for like 3 minutes and nobody got like a single fantasy point the whole time? So it was just one of those games. Sometimes sometimes I like that, you know?
Yeah, no, I definitely know what you're talking about. You fully game stack, and it's like this could go right, this guy could go right, anything could go right, and they find a way
It's
not
just
to.
Brick City, right? And turnovers and just, it wasn't good.
That was a pretty fun game though, too. I mean, Warriors Memphis was a good game. There's a lot of fun games yesterday, actually. Hoping to see some fun ones today. What's going on, everybody in chat? We got Ricky.
Dude, you got to love the mojo in chat. Like, I'll be honest. I want to see a Packers Chiefs Super Bowl. So one of my best friends growing up, huge Packers fan, me, big Chiefs fan, talk shit all the time. And man, I think it's the matchup everyone wants to see. And then, you know,
the three of us, we gotta go. We gotta go. Packers Chiefs Super Bowl if it happens.
If it's in Dallas,
those tickets would be so expensive, man. We're gonna have to call Hoop and Big T. Maybe they'll help us out.
We'll just go to a bar outside the Super Bowl. We don't have to go.
There we go. I can do that.
If it's in Dallas, which I mean, it's looking like that's the backup. Who knows what it's going to be? But definitely come down. It's only a couple-hour drive, and I might be in the day before is UFC like 271. With Adesanya in Houston, so
we can do our MMA show live from your place.
Yeah, I mean the plan is I'm hoping to get to the UFC 271 in Houston the next day if the Packers are there. I think some buddies are gonna go to Dallas if that's where it is.
That's a nice little weekend there, Title.
That's the plan, but the Packers got to get there and stuff.
UFC's down there in Houston or
yep, that's Saturday UFC 271,
Dude,
and then Sunday.
I may be in, Title. We'll see.
All right,
like a ton of fun.
If Chiefs Packers got to get there first, but yeah, it would be definitely a fun weekend. Hoping the Pack get there, hoping the Chiefs. I mean, yeah, Mahomes, Rodgers. Like, what else do you want to see?
The other thing I got, I got so many receipts from these people, and actually not DC. I know DC had his moments where he wavered. So many receipts of just Chiefs are dust, literally on Twitter, like different people in the industry, like very well-respected people. Like Mahomes is figured out. Throw two safeties up top. He's done. Can't figure it out. Chiefs are dust, this and that. Man, not at all. Come on. Come on, people. You got to be better than that. They're going to be at the Super Bowl, and I don't know. I think they're going to win, obviously, but I'm a little biased. And I think everyone knows that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little biased over here. I think Packers should be a lot of fun. What do they say, though? Come on, man, the segment on ESPN. So should be a lot of fun. And, hey, a good way to get exposure to the NFL playoffs. If you do think it's going to be Chiefs, if you do think it's going to be Packers, just say you think it'll be Bengals, Titans, whatever. Underdog's running a really good tournament, multiple tournaments over there, $25 tournament, $5 tournaments. Should be a lot of fun on Underdog. Promo code RUNPEER gets you $100 matching deposit, which they're running. And go over to Underdog. How you do it? You go 6-man draft. It's a snake draft, like always. And then you go, just say you think Packers going to get there. You can draft Devontae 1. You can get then Aaron Rodgers sometimes or Aaron Jones. You stack up the teams that you think are going to go to the Super Bowl. Then you go to the AFC. Just say you think the Chiefs and the Bengals, let's say, are the two teams that you think are most likely to play the Packers. You load up on some Chiefs. You load up on some Bengals. And then each week, they have the wild card week, the conference. There's 4 different rounds. Check it out on Underdog. I definitely didn't explain it as well as I could have, but we're doing a show, Snyder and Simon, at 8 p.m. Eastern today. We'll walk you through it. $100 matching deposit using the promo code RUNPEER. Let's get right into the NBA, though. 9-game slate, big slate, of course. A lot of injury news. First game on the slate, the Boston Celtics, the Indiana Pacers. 211 total. Boston is favored by 2.5. We go to the injury report. On the Boston side, Marcus Smart out. Peyton Pritchard is probable, so Boston is pretty healthy. Go to the Indiana side. Malcolm Brogdon, questionable. Karis LeVert, questionable. Chris Duarte, questionable. Goga, questionable. It's the first game of the slate. We're going to get all the news, but Indiana Pacers definitely have a lot of news. And if Brogdon's out, Duarte's out, we got to be interested in some of these guys. If they're all in, I wouldn't have as much interest. I'll go to you first, AP. Break down this game.
Yeah, not a ton of interest in the spot. I do want to see the starting lineup here. I think, wouldn't be surprised if they started Pritchard or Schroeder. I mean, Schroeder's been really good off the bench, but he still usually gets like starter type minutes. So I want to wait for starting lineups here. Man, like Tatum or Brown. I mean, that's always the question. Anytime they're under, anytime they're in that mid 9K range or under, they're always going to be viable in tournaments. If you're like a 1 to 3 guy, become like a 1 to 3 lineup person, it becomes very difficult to pick between the two because you're not playing them together, especially in this matchup. But I mean, Tatum, I mean, man, look, he can get you 65 and he can get you, 35. He took 21 shots last game, same matchup. If he's going to get 20 plus shots and he's going to get 10 to 12 boards, you got to have some interest. But I'm probably going to be off just because I want to target some of these games that I just think are going to be much better tonight. Higher totals, much faster pace, less defense. So if you're multi-entering, I always think you should have interest in Tatum or Brown, not together, one or the other, and mix and match. But tonight for me, I'm only building 1 to 3, so I'm going to be probably off of this game completely. Really curious to see where you're at, Title.
Yeah. It looks like we lost DC. He's been having some internet problems or something. So we can run a 2-man booth. I'm not sure if he'll show up or not, but I'm with you. I mean, so it's a 9-game slate. We have a lot of good totals on this game. We have a couple 230 totals. We have some injury news that we're going to get to. Like Spencer Dinwiddie's a really good play again. The Houston Rockets are on the slate, and that's a team that I've always liked targeting this whole year. And a lot of Spurs are in good spots. We have a Kongwu on the Hawks. That's a really good play for cheap. So I don't think we really need to go to this game. Pretty low total, 211, relatively healthy. Yeah, if Levert's out, Brogdon's out, Duarte, if all those guys are out on the Pacers, we can maybe look at some guys, but now they're priced up. They're priced like they have been out, like they have the past couple of weeks when they were starting Kiefer Sykes and all those guys. So I'm with you. I think it's mainly a stay away. Right now, the guy that stands out most is probably Dennis Schroeder at 4.8. But do I really want to jam in Dennis Schroeder to start the night when we have injury news we're also waiting on? Probably not. So I think it's a stay away game with you too. First game of the night. Don't think you need to go there. One off, if anything. If you're in Saber Sim, maybe set a rule like max one player from this game or something like that. Don't go overboard on it. Let's go to the next game though. First, do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for us. Cape League Burners chirping DC a little bit. DC on that dial modem. Kind of saying DC misses his mom's basement. Super speed internet. Yeah, Chun Blue. DC is dial up. DC is AOL disc. Yeah, start chirping DC a little bit. Those are good. That's making me laugh. DC deserves a little chirp, and he's not going to watch the show either. His internet's not working. So appreciate you guys all hanging out with us. Hit the like button for us. But let's get into the next game. Charlotte Hornets, the Philadelphia 76ers, 225 total. Philly is favored by 5. Go to the injury report. Go to the Philadelphia side. Seth Curry is questionable. Shake Milton is out. You go to the Charlotte side. Let's see. No one really. Kelly Oubre is out, but that's pretty much it on that side. So AP, I'll go to you. I mean, I don't know. We can always play a Joel Embiid. I think 11-2. I think he'll be relatively low owned since the center position is loaded like usual. If Seth's out, Tyrese Maxey, 5-4, they're going to be without ball handlers. Shake's already out, so I think Maxey would make a little bit of sense. Miles Bridges, 7-5. Gordon Hayward, 6-5. LaMelo, 8-7. I do like LaMelo's price on FanDuel more at 8K. We talk about it, though, with these Hornets. Like, they have so many hoopers that can just fill it up and get hot at any time. And if Terry Rozier is filling it up, Bridges is filling it up, well, Hayward and LaMelo most likely aren't, and their floor is a lot lower than some of these other guys that are priced around them. So what are you doing on the Charlotte side? Anybody on Philly you're looking at?
Yeah, this is one of the early games I have a ton of interest in. Joel Embiid, my top overall play on the slate. We just need this game to stay close. I mean, look, like the Houston game was a blowout. He played 26 minutes, put up 55 DK points. We talked about it on the bet show. I think Joel Embiid triple-double was like 30 or I think like 40-1. Wow. And I had a little bit of interest in it just because the key was we needed Seth Curry out, and he was. And we ended up getting the ball, the offense is going to move through Joel Embiid a lot more because the only other point guard they had was Korkmaz, and then maybe Isaiah Joe, if you want to call him a ball handler, point guard, but not like a key player there. But for me, I'm always attacking Charlotte with bigs like Joel Embiid. I think he could absolutely break the slate. He's already put up big numbers against this team. The other thing, too, is like Tobias Harris, his price is interesting. I would be very worried and cautious with Tobias right now. I mean, there was an article that came out that Philly is trying to package Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons in a trade deal. And so, and the fans already, like, him and the fans have already been beefing. Like, these Philly fans are ruthless, and they are not a fan of Tobias Harris right now. Like, Tobias was chirping, when he hit a shot the other day and he's chirping at the fans, like, don't root for me and all this stuff. So it's the Joel Embiid show. Like, I don't see how he doesn't put up. One, I think this game stays close. Two, like, whenever his minutes are down, they are resting him because he's having to do everything. I think the Hornets are going to make this a really close game. You got to love how Rozier's playing right now. Ball is so due for an eruption game. Like, his shot was off early last game, which, took the ball a little bit out of his hands against your Bucks, and Terry Rozier was just balling. But I'm telling you, we've seen these guys flip-flop. The flip-flop is coming. I think one of these point guards puts up a big number against Philly. One of my rules is I'm always looking at point guards against Philly. Most recently, DeJounte Murray erupted. Cole Anthony erupted for 46 DraftKings points, and then Harden put up a 70-piece against them. So LaMelo Ball, I'm looking at one of the Ball brothers tonight, and man, give me LaMelo. Like, I think if you're playing Embiid or if you want a run back in this game, you go right back to him. He's going to be under 5% owned. His price tag is down, and like, this dude has 60-point upside. He's put up 50 plus, I think, 5 different times on this the season. So love this matchup. Give me LaMelo Ball. I'll probably move off Terry Rozier. I've been playing him, but man, I just feel like he's due for one of those a 30-point game, and feel like it's going to go Ball's way. So that's where I'm at with this game.
Yeah, I mean, so now center, we're talking about how loaded center is. A center that was going to have some ownership for sure. Hassan Whiteside has now entered health and safety protocol. So a center off the slate that we were looking at, Joel Embiid. I mean, that's another spend up, should smash. Someone in chat mentioned, or Thomas said, Embiid dropped 71 points against these Hornets. Yeah, if you like looking at like what people have done previous games against certain opponents, 71 points, I'll take that any day right now if that's what you're telling me he's going to get. Hornets have nobody stop Embiid. Center just got a little worse with the Whiteside out, so I think Embiid makes a lot of sense. Man, I played LaMelo last game too on FanDuel. He was like 7.8K, maybe 8K where he's at now. His ceiling is 60 plus. I mean, the guy is such a stud. He can fill it up whenever. He just hasn't done it for me lately. But AP, if you're telling me he's about to get back on track today, you like picking on a point guards against Philly, might have to run a little LaMelo Ball, because if Embiid gets there, this game's a lot of fun. It's a close spread. LaMelo Ball can definitely shoot out on the other side, and you can have a lot of fun with it. So pretty good game. AP likes it a lot. Close spread. I think the game should stay close. I'm kind of looking at the +5 for the Hornets. Man, the Hornets have been playing really good basketball. I know they just beat up on my Bucks 2 games in a row. They're healthy. They got hoopers. I think +5 for the Hornets makes a lot of sense too. But Seth Curry news does matter a little bit. Tyrese Maxey would become a better play if Seth is out, because Shake already is out. They would need more ball handlers. I agree with you on Tobias. I'm not going to play Tobias either. So I think it's just Embiid and then Tyrese Maxey on the Philly side. But let's get into the next game. 7 p.m. Eastern lock again. The third game that locks at 7 p.m. Eastern. Orlando Magic, Washington Wizards, 213.5 total. Washington is favored by 6. Go to the injury report on Orlando. Mo Bamba out. Wendell Carter out. Jalen Suggs out. And then, yeah, like guys like Fultz and Isaac who have been out are still out. You go to the Washington side, Bradley Beal still is doubtful. We saw Spencer Dinwiddie have a really big game yesterday. I think he's another very, very elite play today. Thomas Bryant is supposed to play. He is probable now, though. So I played a little Montrezl Harrell on FanDuel yesterday. Now with Bryant back in the equation, the front court is definitely a little sticky. But Spencer Dinwiddie, 6K. Why is the price stay the same? He should have been 1,500 price increase, 2,000 price increase. Think it's pretty much a free square. We don't like saying lock, but I think he's as close to a lock as it pretty much gets. 6K. As far as the Orlando side, they're without a lot of bodies in the front court. Robin Lopez at 4K. It sounds really gross, but without Mo Bamba, now we just lost Whiteside at the center position. I think Robin Lopez has to be in consideration. Did not expect to say that in 2022, but got to have interest. Chumo Okeke, 4.6K, another person in the front court. Cole Anthony at 7.4 always shows upside. Franz Wagner at 5.7. I think this game has some interesting options, AP. Kyle Kuzma's been hooping as of late. His price tag is up, though. Talk about the Magic side. Talk about Washington. Are you going to eat Spencer Dinwiddie chalk? You're going to fade it? Talk about what you're going to do in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Dinwiddie, it's just a complete misprice once again. So, yeah, you go. I locked him yesterday, going to lock him in again here in a phenomenal matchup, even better against Cole Anthony and this Magic team. So I think chat, like I want to say there was someone in chat yesterday. So Dinwiddie checked out after 5 minutes. He had an assist and missed 1 3-point attempt. He had 1.5 fantasy points and checks out after 4 or 5 minutes. And I think someone was tilting. Look, don't tilt the dude.
People were tilting, not just one person. Probably.
I mean, come on,
probably
guys.
Multiple.
Like, oh, come on. So no, Dinwiddie is, I will call him a lock. I think he, like, if you want to fade him, you can fade him. It's just, man, he's their main ball handler. He does so much. And look, like the Wizards now, their problem is they have so many bigs. That only helps Dinwiddie, a guy who likes to distribute. He can create his own shot. We see him do it all the time, but he would prefer to distribute the ball and create offense. And now, they get Thomas Bryant back. Like he's not going to play heavy minutes, but it's going to muddy up this front court. So like it takes me off of all of the bigs here. Like I couldn't imagine playing any of them on the Wizards side, and it hurts Kuzma. People in chat were talking about it earlier, and they're spot on. And these bigs, what happens is in that second rotation with Trez back, now Thomas Bryant back, you're not going to have Kuzma crashing the board as much. Like yesterday, we saw him instead really working in transition so that one of those guys could pass him the ball and he could get easy buckets. We saw that a lot in the first half, and it was very successful before the Thunder made a few key adjustments in the second half, especially on Kuzma there. But Kuzma at 8K, a little too much for me here. I just think there's a little bit better options, and it's a bigger slate. So for me, it's lock in Dinwiddie, and then I'm moving on from the Wizards. And then, the Magic, they're thin in the front court. We saw Robin Lopez start earlier multiple games in the spot, and he was good. He was a beast on the boards. He's always going to play tough. Like, I'm not saying like he's good. He just knows his role, especially in this matchup. Like so the Wizards right now, so I stacked the game yesterday, and the reason is I don't think they're playing that good of defense right now, and they are playing at a faster pace relative to earlier in the season. So those are two things that we like to see. And so I think it's a fine spot for Robin Lopez. I think he's going to be able to grab a bunch of boards. I'm also fine with Chuma Okeke, but he is priced up. So I have him set as like a core play right now, but that could change because I haven't ran any builds yet. I just thought he was someone that looked really nice early on with how thin they are in the front court. I also think Mo Wagner could get 18 to 20 minutes here, but again, he's going to be a riskier play. We got Okongwu, we have others. The Jazz. I'm excited to get to this Jazz game now. It was one that I was honestly crossing off, but Whiteside being out changes everything. So that'll be a fun game to break down. But on the Orlando side, if I'm running it back, I would look at Cole Anthony. I think he would be fine, 7-4. He's put up, he's going to shoot a ton here. The matchup is good, as we've seen. And if he does, so these teams just played on the 9th. If he does exactly what he did on the 9th, but if he can make a few more shots and create a little bit more offense, get a few more assists, he's right there with a nice 42 to 45 piece. I'd be fine with that at 7.4K. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there, though. At this time, it's really going to depend on a lot of other spots on this slate. But Dinwiddie, maybe Cole Anthony, Robin Lopez is definitely fine. Maybe Chuma Okeke in tournaments is kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, you were talking about how bad this Washington defense has been. I don't know if you watched the game yesterday, but SGA was getting whatever he wanted in the lane yesterday. He got a step on his guy. No one was there for rim protection, whatever he wanted in the paint. So I think it makes a lot of sense. We got Colin and Chad. He's saying Okeke season. He likes Okeke. Yeah, I think he's a good play for sure. What's going on, Drew Carpenter? We got Detroit Tigers. So what do you think the starting lineup will be for the Magic? I'm thinking it's going to be Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, I think, and then Franz Wagner, Chumo Kiki, Robin Lopez is my guess at what the starting five is going to be. We got some time, 2-man boost. So you guys in chat, I'll be looking at chat a lot. Clapperton asks, Hassan Whiteside is out. That is correct. Colin, we don't know about Thomas Bryant's minutes. No, we don't know about Thomas Bryant's minutes, but I just wouldn't mess with like Montrez. I thought Montrez was a good play in the front court on FanDuel with this price, but now Gafford and Harrell just become out of play for me with Bryant. That whole front court is muttered up. So not going to go there. I think the backcourt, Dinwiddie makes sense. AP, what are your thoughts on Kispert? Played about 30 minutes yesterday. He's 3-5. I don't really think we need to go there on this slate. Like Okongwu, someone asked about Okongwu on FanDuel too. We'll get to Okongwu. He's a good play everywhere. But Robin Lopez, 4K, like I'd much rather some other value. But he had played 30 minutes. He shot the ball decent. We know he has 3-point upside. So any Kispert love at 3-5?
I mean, he seems more maybe like a cash type play. I want a little bit more upside at that position. But I mean, 3-5, you can, the key thing there is you can play him at the forward spot, small forward or shooting guard. So it is interesting. I don't think I'm going to get there, but if it allows you to spend up elsewhere, I don't hate it.
Yeah, makes sense. Christopher said Franz season. Yeah, how I'd approach Kispert is probably like, if you're just going to fully...
Hey, Title, one thing to keep in mind, the last time these two teams played, the Wizards did not have like Trez was out. Obviously, Thomas Bryant wasn't in there. So the Wizards are a much bigger team now. And I mean, these bigs are going to like Robin Lopez, Chuma, and, Mo or maybe Freddie Gillespie. I'm not really sure who they go to. They're going to have to play these guys some decent minutes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Robin Lopez, Chuma. I agree with your Mo Wagner take. He is power forward and center eligible too. Again, like on this slate, if it was a smaller slate, we were lacking value, I'd have more interest. But I agree, he's going to have to play some minutes for sure.
We get the revenge too with Mo Wagner.
Little revenge. Yeah, there you go. Mangone always loves his revenge narratives. Little revenge there with Mo Wagner. It's a solid game. Spencer Dinwiddie's obviously the best play. I think Robin Lopez is the second best play. But yeah, Cole Anthony's showing upside. There's a lot of decent pieces in this game that you cannot ignore for sure. So let's get into the next game. Hurley asks, anybody know if there's any promo codes for RPS right now? I believe we have RPS Heater 25, but that is not with the SaberSim package. It's just without SaberSim, 25% off your first month is what Helmet told me last week. I'm not sure if we're the SaberSim package. I know Hoop was seeing if there was going to be a short-term deal, nothing set in stone yet, but RPS Heater 25% off your first month. That does not include anything with Saber though. But it's a great deal, even without any promo code SaberSim. AP, talk a little bit about what you're doing tomorrow. You're hopping on before the Up to Lock show with the SaberSim guy, talking about your process and stuff. I think it's going to be a really good show, going to help a lot of members out because SaberSim is very important. But talk about what you're doing tomorrow for the members.
Yeah, we got a 7:30 Eastern lock tomorrow. So Jordan over at Saber Sim and myself from 6 to 6:30, members only. So right after this show, I'll be staying on and we'll be going to the members only channel. And we're going to do a little show where we do a screen share with Saber. We answer questions that you guys have. We'll talk about, I'll talk a little bit about my up to lock process and how I use it. Jordan will talk a little bit about his. I think we have different styles, but the tool, the idea is to understand how to better utilize this tool. Whether you're a 1 entry player or 3 max player, 20 max or 150 max, you should be leveraging a tool like SaberSim to help you fine tune your lineup. So that is what we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Yep, definitely going to be a very good show. Make sure to tune in. That should be very informational. It's going to help with everyone's process. Yeah, like you said, whether you make 150, 20, 10 lineups, whatever it is, it's really important. It's a really good tool to use, something I use a lot too. I've been 150 a lot on FanDuel. It's something SaberSim makes it really easy. You have your projections, you edit it a little bit like BigT does, spits out lineups that are going to give you a chance to win. So very excited for that show tomorrow. Let's get into the next game though. The Dallas Mavericks, the New York Knicks, 204.5 total, one of the lowest on the slate. I believe it is the lowest. Dallas is favored by 2.5. Go to the Knicks side. Derrick Rose out for a while. Kemba Walker is questionable. Nerlens Noel is questionable. Taj Gibson is questionable. You go to the Dallas side. Porzingis is out. Willie Cauley-Stein is out. Look at this game. I mean, what Jalen Brunson is, I don't know. Like, I don't think I can get to Jalen Brunson today with the price tag 7-7. Actually, there's no chance I'm going to get to him on DraftKings. Luka 10-9. I think there's better spend ups. Julius Randle 8-5. I'll never say no if you want to play him. The minutes are usually there. He has upside. He's a step below like the top tier in the Joel Embiids and stuff, but he's not at the lower tier. So 8-5, I think, is a little interesting. It's pretty much all I'm seeing, AP. I mean, really low total, 9-game slate. I don't think we go overboard in this spot. Randall's the favorite play that I see, but I think it could be a cross-off. What do you think?
Yeah, this is the game I'm crossing off. And I like Randall, I think at 8-5 is going to suck some people in. But just keep in mind, look at these Chicago guys in a much better matchup. Like DeMar DeRozan is 100 cheaper than Randall. And just look at what they've been doing on the season. So, yes, we know what Randall's capable of doing. He hasn't been doing it. And especially if Kimba's in there, I think it takes away from him a little bit. So, yeah, I'm off the Knicks here. Just 204 total. Doesn't look good. On the other side, though, I will say, I'm never going to say, full fade Luka. He always has the ability to break a slate. And I don't want to talk someone off of them if they have a read on it, but not really my spot. But if you want to get Luka in the Garden, I mean, maybe he puts up a massive triple double. I'm just not seeing it here. So I prefer Embiid, and if I'm playing Luka, I'm not going to be able to play Embiid with the build route that I want to go today. So that really makes my decision fairly easy. In between the three studs, I have them ranked Joel Embiid, LeBron James, and then Luka Doncic. So Luka the Don is not someone I'm going to be on tonight. Dorian Finney-Smith, you could maybe make a case for. I just think it's too thin of a play. I want a little bit more upside, and I'm not seeing it. You need the perfect stat line from him. You need him to rack up a few steals, a few blocks, and be very efficient from the three-point line. And I don't see that happening here, especially if the Mavericks can roll out a pretty wide rotation. So I'll be off this game.
Yep, I'm with you. Hurley said that didn't work. Hoop said it can't be work. So I texted Hoop. Hurley, I'll get back to you on the promo code. I texted Hoop. I'll get back to you. You said it didn't work though, but before the show's over, I will say what Hoop says and get you the promo code. Next game though, first do us a favor, 462 watching, 156 likes. Hit the like button. Jordan said Levert is in. Yep, so Levert's in, Goga's in. The Brogdon news is probably about to come up, but that just takes me even off the first game even more. Don't think we need to go to that one at all. So what, 9-game slate? We already crossed off 2 games, AP, the Indiana-Boston game and this last one. So that's what we like to do. 9-game slate, you can't play everyone. Cut it down to a 7-game slate where we're at. We'll see if we cross off any more of the games, but 7:30 p.m. Eastern, the next game, the Miami Heat, Atlanta Hawks, 223.5 total. Atlanta is favored by 3. Go to the injury report, and the Hawks is a big part on this slate. Clint Capella, doubtful. Cam Reddish, doubtful. Jalen Johnson, doubtful. DeAndre Hunter is questionable. Go to the Miami side. Jimmy Butler, Bam. Markieff Morris still is out. Dedmon is questionable. So Butler and Adebayo are out for the Heat still. Tyler Hero, I think, makes a lot of sense. Good price tag on FanDuel. I think he's still in play at 7-8 on DraftKings, but I definitely prefer him more on FanDuel. Kyle Lowry at 7-6. I think he makes some sense. Caleb Martin 4-4. The big news, though, is Okongwu. He's power forward and center eligible on DraftKings. He's just center eligible on FanDuel. Someone earlier asked if he was still in play on FanDuel. Yeah, he's one of the best plays on the slate. He's going to have to play all the minutes he can handle. 3.9K. I think it's a very, very strong play. I think you can start your lineups with him and feel comfortable. Kyle Lowry, Trae Young, 10.3K. I think he's an interesting spend up too. If you are going to play a Kyle Lowry, a Caleb Martin, if you're going to play a couple of these Heat guys, I think Trae Young is very interesting. AP, I'll go to you. Talk about what you're going to do with the Okongwu. Talk about a Tyler Hero, Lowry, Trae Young, and anything else you see in this game.
Yeah, normally I want to like Kyle Lowry in the spot, but it's been really interesting watching what Spoeltra's doing with the Heat right now. You're not seeing like Kyle Lowry's not out there chucking. I mean, and he's not a guy that normally does that, but what they're doing is they're getting Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, sometimes off the bench with D-Rob, but Tyler Hero definitely off the bench, having these guys come in, play big minutes, and they're shooting a ton of threes. So Duncan Robinson, 16 threes against the Suns last game. Tyler Hero, I believe he had 4 or 5 threes, 28 total field goal attempts. They got all these guys just chucking. So it's a really, like, I love the matchup for Lowry, but I really just worry, like, man, you need Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero to have cold nights, and you need it to be a game where Kyle Lowry just has to do more on the offensive end. And I have other plays in this range I like a little bit more. So I'm probably going to be under on Lowry. I don't mind Caleb Martin. I don't love the matchup here, and he's a lower usage guy, but we've seen him get it done. I think he's just more of like a safe, put in like a 21, 22 type projection. And if he hits a few builds, I think you're fine. And if he catches one of those crazy games, I don't think he's a guy that you want to give too high of a projection and get too overweight on. We haven't seen the upside from him. I agree with you on Okongwu on the other side. 3-9, he's going to have to play a ton of minutes. I want to see, so DeAndre Hunter, I believe, is in or might be in. Let's see.
I saw a questionable. Did I miss it?
No, you might be right.
He's 3K though. Someone asked about it in chat too. Like if he does play at 3K, someone in chat mentioned, yeah, talk about that, because the stone minimum, talk about it. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, the last time he played, he was right in that 20. So when he came, he was right in the 20 plus minute range. And yeah, stone min, I if he was going to, play 20 some minutes, I would have some interest for sure. We're just really unsure about that situation. So that's why paying attention to the news, watching beat writers, seeing if there's any minutes limit there is going to be very important on the slate. But I think just the one play that I feel very good about, honestly, is Okongwu. I don't even feel that good about Trae Young. I mean, obviously it's Trae Young and he's fine, as incredible upside that we've seen. It's just now they got a lot of shooters back. They have Bogdan, they have Herder and Gallinari, guys that can come off the bench, and possibly Hunter back, and John Collins is back. So a lot of scoring usage to go around on this team, which for me kind of reduces my liking for Trae Young. So I'll keep it simple. Okongwu right now, I'm going to monitor anything with DeAndre Hunter. Just be an interesting tournament play. And then I might end up a little lower on the Heat side.
Yep, makes some sense. So Hurley, y'all were confusing me so much. So RPS Heater 25 does work 25% off, but it doesn't work for SaberSim, like I said. So 25% off your first month. Thank you, Hurley, for confirming that. Hoop confirmed it as well, but it does not work with the SaberSim package. Colin said no Josh Green interest. AP title GPP. Josh Green for Dallas. No, I wouldn't play any Josh Green. I know that was the last game, but I'd avoid that whole situation. We do have enough plays on the slate. Chia said JTA was still minimum yesterday. I wouldn't play Hunter. He hasn't aged in months. Well, yeah, I mean, it's so daily fantasy sports. We can't just look at yesterday and see what JTA did. Obviously, no one saw that coming. A negative points at Stone Min, and he was popular, but it's a different situation. I agree. DeAndre Hunter isn't a priority play. It's not someone you jam in your lineups. It's not someone you play 50% of, but if you have 3K left in your lineup, he is in. I think you could do worse personally, but don't go out of your way to play DeAndre Hunter is how I see it. Okongwu, definitely the best play in this game, though. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for us, please. We appreciate it. 9-game slate, big prize pools, making it a 7-game slate right now, crossing off 2 games pretty much. Next game on the slate, though, the Houston Rockets, the San Antonio Spurs, 233 total. That's a big boy total. The Spurs are favored by 7. You go to the Spurs side, Doug McDermott, Trey Jones is out. Derek White, Keldon Johnson, and Devin Vassell are all questionable, which is pretty big news. Derek White, Keldon Johnson, Vassell, 3 guys that have a rotation. are part of the rotation. Go to the Houston side. Sengun is the only one that is questionable for them. I mean, Lonnie Walker, 4.6K, I think makes a lot of sense. He'd become a way better play if White and Vassell are injured, but I think he's a good play as is. Bates Diaw, same situation as Lonnie Walker. Not a very good basketball player, I don't think, but the minutes would have to be there. Jakob Poeltl, 6.3K. Center is loaded. I expect him to go pretty under-owned. Think he makes some sense. DeJounte Murray, 9.7K. DeJounte's been a stud for a long time. The Rockets are so bad. Like, I love picking on the Rockets. We talk about it all the time. One of my favorite teams to pick on for DFS. They don't play defense, play at a pretty fast pace. There's always a big total. So I think DeJounte Murray makes a lot of sense. As far as Houston, if you want to run it back with people, Christian Wood at 6'9", I think makes sense with some upside. Kevin Porter, 5'8". Someone in chat mentioned Jalen Green at 4'7". I think you could do worse than that. AP, I'm seeing a lot of options in this game. I love Houston games because the other team's always going to get out, run, get some easy buckets. Houston has some options too at good prices. So what are you seeing in this game, and how would you rank your favorite players?
Yeah, so that was kind of an early, late morning change in the status of those players. They were originally out, and then the report came in if they all tested negative one more time, that they could play. Now, I think we've had a few situations like this, and what's happened, and I'm not going to say that those situations are like this one. With Pop, who knows? I think Pop does want his guys back. I mean, man, just a few games ago, you know, when that reporter was asking him who was going to start, and he was just like, F if I know, like, I don't know half the guys' names, you know? So, you know, who knows with Pop. But in spots where we've seen this happen in other games, what they've said is like a report could come and what we've seen is like, they're like, yeah, I passed their test, but still going to be out tonight due to conditioning, whatever. So, I mean, that is something so like, I'm still working under the assumption that these guys could be out.
It was kind of like Bart. It was kind of like Barton yesterday. Like, he was doubtful or something, midday to questionable, and then he got ruled out. I believe that was health and safety, right?
Another thing. Yeah, another thing too is a matchup against the Rockets. Like, I don't think the Spurs need their full complement of players to get it done in these spots. DeJounte Murray, Jakob Poeltl, and Lonnie Walker, and even Primo, like, definitely enough to get it done here. This is actually like my favorite spot in tournaments. So box score lurkers, they're going to look at this Rockets team, and they're going to look at the last three games and be like, what is going on here? And, you know, rightfully so. All three big blowouts. So that's impacted their minutes. You got to go a little ways back to find a close game to see where Kevin Porter Jr., you know, against the Wizards played 35 minutes. Jalen Green played a bunch of minutes, and Christian Wood played a bunch of minutes. Their prices have all reflected the blowouts that have happened, you know, because that's had an impact on their fantasy production, obviously, because Houston can go very deep into their bench. If this game, one, I think this game could stay close. And two, I think I love the overs here. Like, people hate when the pace is super good and when teams are scoring and not playing defense. People like hate these totals betting the over when they're in the 230s. It's just what they hate doing. I love it in a spot like this. If we get the right environment, we get some easy buckets, which I think we do with Christian Wood and Poeltl. And then DeJounte Murray with everything he's doing. I think this game could go over the total, but we need the Rockets to keep pace here. If that happens, I think a little game stack could be what ships tournaments. So like Kevin Porter Jr., Christian Wood, you know, on the Rockets side, maybe even Jalen Green, you know, at 4-7. And then if the Spurs guys are out, DeJounte Murray is like an absolute lock for me. I think Lonnie Walker's a very strong play, and then Poeltl's a really strong play. So if you want to get a little dicey, maybe run Wood, Poeltl, so double center. You still got room for Okongwu, but then you could run Kevin Porter Jr., DeJounte Murray. The problem with that build, though, is going to take you off of Spencer Dinwiddie. So very tough to accomplish. Maybe the route there is Jalen Green moving off of Porter Jr., but maybe that's how you get different. And, you know, maybe this is a game that could help ship in tournaments. The other part of me, so I will run a few tournament lineups like that. The other part of me is like, God, the Rockets just suck, and the Spurs could absolutely dust them. Either way, I think there's going to be a lot of fantasy production that comes from this game. and it's going to be very important to monitor the news here. And Drew Eubanks was just ruled out, so that makes Pirtle an even better play. Man, it's like there are so many good center spots on this slate for sure. So it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, the thing, like Okongwu has power forward eligibility, which is big on DraftKings. Like nobody is going to play Christian Wood and Jakob Poeltl together because they both are just center eligible. You can still play Okongwu at power forward, but I'm with you. I like the over. I like a lot of Houston's overs. I think DeJounte Murray's very strong. Like this game stack is very, very intriguing. Kevin Porter on the other side. Lonnie Walker, you can throw in there. He's shooting guard and small forward eligible, which we like because you can put him at forward, guard, any of those spots. Man, this game is really, really tasty. And like Kevin Porter, 5.8K, he's got upside. I agree, like point guard eligible. Getting off Dinwiddie would be pretty tough today, but you can go a lot of different ways in this game. I really like the idea of going Jakob Poeltl, Christian Wood at your 2 center spot. Doesn't break the bank. They're in the mid tier. They have 50-point upside, and then you can still play Okongwu at power forward. So I'm with you for sure. And yeah, DeJounte Murray, 9.7K. Wouldn't be surprised to see him as the highest scoring player on this slate. And you get a discount from like the Embiids and stuff. So very, very fun game. Every Rockets game is a game I have some interest in DFS. Today is no different for sure. Jeremy Kahn, he likes your overcall on the Rockets as well. AP. Anchor's talking about this next game we're about to get to, the Utah Jazz and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Whiteside's ruled out. Big news. 223 total. Utah is favored by 5. You go to the injury report. It's not only Whiteside that's out. Rudy Gobert out. Rudy Gay out. Azubuike out. Jared Butler out. Elijah Hughes out. Joe Ingles questionable. We talked, I think it was just last week, how Utah's been really healthy for a while. Well, they got hit with health and safety pretty bad. They have very, very limited bodies. A lot of people are out. So we're going to have some interest in this Utah side. But the problem is they're playing Cleveland, who we don't love picking on Cleveland. On their side, Sexton, Rubio, Okoro are all out. Rajon Rondo is questionable. So we got this news on the show. We haven't had too much time to dive in. So yeah, Whiteside's out. The center that usually was getting backup minutes, Azubuike's out. I'm not really seeing too many like centers. This Norvel Pillay guy is listed as center. Don't know anything about him. I'm not going to pretend I do. They can play Royce.
He sucked. He's been so bad.
Yeah,
just watching him in there. I think Pascal has a better chance of like. I think they just go small here. They're going to get destroyed by the Cavs in the front court, man.
That's what I mean. Like Royce O'Neill at the 5, I could see them doing that. Pascal at the 5, like. I feel like that's the way they're going to have to do is play small, but this is not a team you can play. Like teams want to play small against in the Cavs. Jared Allen, Mobley, Markkanen, like that's pretty much 3 7-footers that they start. Man, I would have hammered Cleveland right away. I mean, Utah was favored by 5 in this game. I mean, that line has to be gone now, but I don't see how they can guard these guys in the front court. Pascal, yeah. Royce O'Neill, I think they can play the 5s. I don't really know. I mean, these big men on Cleveland are absolutely going to dominate it, I think. Looking at the prices, they're expensive. Though. Mobley 7-1, like they're pretty healthy. Markkanen 5-6. I don't really love Jared Allen 7-9 at just center. I don't really know AP. I mean, we're talking it through. We didn't get this Whiteside news until we were on the show. I don't know. Like Pascal, I'm worried about foul trouble a little bit. The Royce O'Neill, like they're going to have to play big. Are they going to go zone? If I'm a coach, I'm going zone. I think that's like what you have to do. You don't really see NBA teams do that as much. What are your thoughts on this game, AP? Because it's a very interesting one.
Yeah, I think a tournament, like no one ever likes to attack Utah, especially in Utah. And, rightfully so. They're usually a very good, sound defensive team. They take a hit. They got no bigs. Their 2 weapons in the paint with Gobert and Whiteside, their 7-footers are both gone. Massive hit, especially against a team like the Cavs, who are really big. Like, I think a really good tournament play is Darius Garland and Jared Allen together. Like, just think about it. Like, look at all of the good tournament plays we've talked about. Joel Embiid, good overall plays, not tournament plays. Joel Embiid, Spencer Dinwiddie, Poeltl, Christian Wood. Those guys are all going to suck up ownership. And Jared Allen at 7'9" is going to go way overlooked. No one's going to look at him. Even Darius Garland is going to go overlooked. I think it's going to be a ton of potential easy assists, like a double-double for Garland. And I mean, man, I just I think if you're, if you got the cojones to do it, I think you run a Garland, Allen. You don't necessarily have to run it back, but honestly, I would take it a step further and I'd run it back with Donovan Mitchell. The Jazz are at home. They've had a few days off, I believe, of rest. So this was the other call. Shout out to Spread and Tyler. We're breaking this down on Monday. So the Jazz were on a nasty road trip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 road games, all starting out the new year. And they just looked tired. Like their legs were gone. And so we took the Pistons money line, which was like, yeah. And then we took it a step further and parlayed it with the Blazers money line against the Nets. We got a little lucky with Harden getting ruled out. So obviously the Nets didn't have a full complement of weapons, but it was still a ton of fun. I think Jazz are home. Donovan Mitchell's going to have his legs behind under him. I think, man, he's 9'4". He's going to have to carry all of the offensive load here. He's going to take 25 plus shots tonight. I think it's a really interesting stack in tournaments. It's probably going to take you off of some of those other chalky plays. So you're immediately going to be different. And the total here, look, 223, like that's a solid total. So if this game stays close, which I think it will, you have to think the Cavs are just going to hammer the paint, get a ton of easy buckets. And who's going to do it? It's going to be Jared Allen. And who's going to be giving him the ball? It's Darius Garland. So it kind of writes itself, it comes together all by itself. And no one's going to play the spot. So I'm really starting to talk myself into this spot tonight. It's really interesting in tournaments.
Yeah, definitely agree. Like, I think it's still going to go pretty under-owned. Thomas is saying third string unit for Utah almost blew out Toronto's first starting unit. Well, I mean, yeah, Thomas, that was back when they did have Elijah Hughes, they had Azubuike, they had Butler, they still had guys that now are.
That's apples to oranges. That's like these young guys playing up, and the Toronto Raptors just overlooking them. Like you see that happen all the time, So
I mean, and they had like Elijah Hughes had like 44 FanDuel, like he went off, but now he's out. Like they had guys that are now out. They had Whiteside. There was multiple guys. I think it was like 3 or 4 starters that started that game now aren't even available today. So it's still a whole different team. I mean, they got Donovan Mitchell back though, Conley. So like, it's still a different starting lineup, but I hear what you're saying, Thomas. This Ryan in chat is asking if Pelly is out, because Pelly is questionable. If he's out, man, that would be another front court guy. He's asking about this Bolden guy. I know nothing about this Bolden guy. I don't even know if he's even in the DraftKings player pool. I'm not seeing him. Maybe I just don't have him projected at all, but I know nothing about Bolden. I wouldn't play Bolden on this slate. We have a Kongwu who's cheap. We mentioned some other good plays. I don't know anything about them. I know they don't have big men, but I wouldn't touch anyone named Bolden. As far as Royce O'Neill. So talk about Royce O'Neill a little bit, 4.4K. I know I said he could play a little 5. If someone said he's 6'4", like hard to see, like he wouldn't play too many minutes of the 5. Yeah, I mean, he obviously plays power forward. He plays bigger than he is. 6'4", playing against Jared Allen one-on-one. No, he can't do that. But like Pascal's kind of undersized. I don't see how they don't go zone AP. Like, how are they going to match up with 3 7-footers? Cleveland's one of the biggest teams in the NBA. Like, this is not the matchup to lose Whiteside. But Royce O'Neill's going to have to play minutes 4-4.
If they're going to go zone, and Darius Garland's going to hit a ton of threes because that's what he does. And then on the other side, Donovan Mitchell's like, I mean, look, like you're not going to get easy buckets in the paint against the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell's going to do what he likes, his little mid-range jumper game, shoot some threes.
If this game's close, Donovan Mitchell's the reason why. Like he's going nuclear if this game stays close, I think.
Yeah, if you're in a tournament tonight, get some. I mean, the other thing too is like this game could just be really ugly. You see that happen too, but it's a really fun spot in tournaments, I think, with where the ownership projections are at. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be under-owned. I'm not going to go crazy on this game if I'm only playing 1 lineup or 2 lineups in tournaments. Personally, I'm probably not going to get to this game. I think there's a lot of unknowns. I think the game could go so many different ways, but you're 150 in, or you think you have a good read on this game and how it's going to go, I think it's going to go under owned still. It could be interesting, but yeah, this Whiteside news definitely changed the whole slate. He was going to get some ownership. They needed him. He had to play all the minutes he could handle against these bigs, and now he's out. So definitely changed the slate a lot. We got two games.
Jared Allen might get like 9 blocks too. If these guys in the paint try to do anything. All right, next game.
Yeah, he's just center eligible. That's the thing. Like, and their prices are up. Like, I wouldn't be Mobley and Jared Allen. Like, they put up a 50 spot. If this game stays close, like, I'm with you. It's 1%, 2% on tournament plays. Like, I hear you. No one on Utah can stop these big men. It's going to be an interesting game. I'm curious to see what Utah does. I mean, if they don't go zone, man, I want to see what Cleveland, -5 Utah was before this news. Like, man, I would have hammered Cleveland for a lot of money if I could have. Our boy Kurt Jones says, put me in, coach. I'm feeling that for sure. Nick Storsey said, yo, title, I'm just here now. What games did y'all cross off? The 2 games that we talked about crossing off, the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers, and then the Dallas Mavericks and the New York Knicks. Boats and Hose in Discord talked about Jalen Brunson being 5'8" on FanDuel, where he was 7'7" on DraftKings. So I do think Jalen Brunson is in play on FanDuel. I don't think he's like a lock or anything, but definitely in play on FanDuel. You can always play Luka or something like that. But the Mavericks and then the Boston game are the 2 games that we kind of crossed off right now. 2 games left, though. What's the like sitting at? 210, 545 watching. Let's get to 250. 250 is not very hard to ask. We appreciate you guys. AP and I are grinding right now. 2-man boost. So much is going on. My hosting skills aren't top notch right now. I understand. Appreciate you guys hanging in there with us. So
stop it, Title. They're money, man.
Two games left, though. We'll get to them. 10 p.m. Eastern, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Sacramento Kings, 230.5 total. Lakers are favored by 4. Go to the injury report. Carmelo, questionable. AD, Kendrick Nunn are still out. We go to the Kings side, and yeah, Kings are pretty healthy. Rashawn Holmes out. Damian Jones out. Tristan Thompson questionable. So the front court beat up a little bit, but the back court is good. Looking at this game, I mean, there's LeBron as a spend up for sure. It's been a different LeBron that started the year, as we know. 11.7K, so the price is still up, but I think he makes a ton of sense. AP, I believe you said what? Embiid 1, LeBron 2 for you is how you rank the spend ups?
Yeah. I mean, it could change, but yeah, I mean, LeBron's just doing everything. So yeah, it's close though. It's close.
Yeah, and then outside like LeBron, I mean, Malik Monk 6'2". I prefer his price on FanDuel. I think he's 5'5" over there. He's been hooping, as we know. I like this King side a lot more than I like this Lakers side, though. If I'm playing LeBron, I'd want some of these Kings, I think. Davion Mitchell, 3-1. So maybe I think I like Davion Mitchell. I definitely like Davion Mitchell more than I like DeAndre Hunter. If I have 3.1K left in my lineups, I wouldn't go out of my way to play him. But 3.1K, I think Davion Mitchell, point guard, shooting guard, eligible makes sense. I always love my boy Tyrese Halliburton, 7K. Think he's interesting. De'Aaron Fox at 7.5. He's been playing better ball as of late. Bagley 4.6. Alex Len 4K. He's at center though, so I'm not sure I'm going to get there. Talk about this game, AP. I think the Kings are interesting. No must plays. Like if you had nobody in this game, I wouldn't call you crazy, but I think you could play LeBron in a couple of Kings. So talk about it.
Yeah, the one thing to note is how good or much better, much improved the Lakers are on defense with LeBron at the 5. I mean, their coach was talking about it the other day. Just completely different team with him at the 5. What they're able to do is jam these elite opposing guards, whoever the stud is on the other side. They're able just to jam them. So it frees them up and makes them quicker, which translates a lot, to a lot of defensive success. I'm actually underweight on this game. I think I actually like the unders here, under 231. If you can get it. The last time they met, it was I think 236 or something. But look, both teams are shooting 42% from 3-point range. I don't think we're going to get that. LeBron had that phenomenal game. I think the Lakers play good defense tonight, and I think the other thing too about the Kings, they've been playing better defense as well. I know the coach there he wants Bagley to focus on defense, the thing he sucked at, but his offensive production is really sacrificed And it's something that I've just kind of noticed there. So I'm going to be a little under on this game. Never a problem with Halliburton. I just think with how the Lakers are playing right now, they're going to make it tough on these guards, surprisingly. So it's just, Lakers getting better at switches. Like, think about it, like LeBron is like a linebacker, like on defense. Like, your linebacker's talking talking to everyone virtually. LeBron at the 5 really allows them to do that. And you've seen it. It's night and day. Go look at the advanced numbers. Too bad DC's not on here. He would, I'm sure he's looked at it. But if you look at the first half of the season, they're terrible. If you look at, since they made these adjustments, much, much better. So I'll be a little under on this game, but never a problem with LeBron James. I'll probably have a little exposure myself.
Yep, that makes sense. Someone in chat asked about Buddy Hield. Last time he played the Lakers, I know there's some narrative in LA too. If you're a narrative person, I take it that's why you're playing Buddy. You talked about him against the Lakers last time. I prefer when he's in LA, but man, anytime this guy touches the ball, it's going up, as we know. Any interest in Buddy? Personally, I'm not going to go there. I like Halliburton more. I like Fox more. That's where I'd go if I run the LeBron. But any Buddy for you? I take it no.
No, I mean, yeah, I love that narrative, but I like it in LA. So, I mean, he's a streaky shooter. He's going to play up for this spot. Davion Mitchell's the guy. Just, gosh, he's like kind of disappeared lately, but he's someone that could come back at any point in time. I probably like him a little bit better than DeAndre Hunter. At least we know he's going to get in there and play 20 minutes or so. But now I'll be a little under on this game.
Yeah, definitely makes some sense. We got one game left. Appreciate all you guys. Brent Gobb, Brian, Jeremy F., Dylan Moon. Thanks for all hanging out with us. Coach DFS, he said Dwight Howard. I wouldn't play Dwight Howard. Now that they got LeBron at the 5, and the front court on Sacramento is beat up too. Like, the matchups I would play Dwight Howard against or with is like if they're playing the Cavaliers or something like that, where they have to start him at the 5 and you can't really start LeBron at the 5 against them. Now without multiple front court guys, I don't think you really need to go to Dwight Howard in this game. And I agree with you. Like, I think Bagley's fine, but Bagley doesn't always close now. Like, Buddy Hield sometimes comes in and they close over him and they go small like that. So I'm with you. I think Bagley's okay, not a necessity. I'm always a Tyrese Halliburton guy, so he would be my favorite on the Kings side. Wouldn't mind a little LeBron, Tyrese Halliburton stack. Next game on the slate, the last one though, the Brooklyn Nets, the Chicago Bulls. Big boy total, 235.5. Chicago is favored by 1.5. First thing that we look at, the Nets, they're playing on the road, so Kyrie Irving is eligible to play, but he is questionable. He rolled his ankle a little bit. He did finish the game, though. I saw stuff on Twitter, and Nasir Little dove for a ball. People are saying it was dirty a little bit. I don't know. It wasn't dirty, I don't think. But he rolled his ankle a little bit. He did finish the game. He is questionable, though. James Harden, questionable. Nicholas Claxton, questionable. Joe Harris and LaMarcus Aldridge are out. We go to the Bulls side. They're playing a back-to-back, but they absolutely dominated yesterday, so I'm not worried about any of the minutes or any of that. The Bulls are healthy. Caruso's out. Javonte Green's out, but that's pretty much it on the Bulls side. Big total, close spread. Big news, obviously, with James Harden, with Kyrie. I'm expecting James Harden to play. I think it was more so like he was resting last game. We talked about it on the show a little bit on Monday, but on these road games when Kyrie does play, I think we could see KD sit out once in a while, Harden sit out once in a while, get these guys some rest heading into playoff time so their legs are under them. They're going to play all the minutes they can handle. So I'm expecting Harden to play, but hey, you got to make a decision because you don't really have too many pivots unless you're just stacking these last 2 games at 10 p.m. As far as Kyrie, I mean, I think he's going to play. He finished the game, but I don't know. He can't play home games, so he's going to have some time to rest. DeMar DeRozan, 8'4". He's been playing really good basketball all year. I think he makes sense with the ceiling. Lonzo Ball, 6.8K. I think he flashes ceiling. If Kyrie plays at 8'9", I think he would make some sense. But if Kyrie, Durant, and Harden are all in, I just kind of avoid the Nets is how I go about it. So AP, talk about this game. There's a lot of uncertainties. It's a questionable tag. So we can't, if Harden and Kyrie are out, yeah, we're going to love KD if you have a roster spot for that, but we're not going to know that. So how are you planning your lineups? Are you going to backload and wait for it? Are you assuming they're in? What are you going to do in this game?
I mean, betting wise, I already put a bet in on the Bulls tonight, -1.5. If Kyrie sits, then yeah, I mean that makes I'll like my spot even more. I'm working under the assumption that all three of them play. They need to all three play, and even if all three play, I think they lose to the Bulls here in Chicago tonight. They just don't. They need more like time together to when facing like an elite team that the Bulls are. I mean, this team is playing such good basketball right now. Individually, the Nets are far more skilled, but collectively as a group, the Bulls are a much better team right now. So I think all three play, because the other reason too is they play the Nets play tomorrow at home, and then they play again on Saturday at home. And so it's a rough stretch of games for them. I think it's 5 games in like 8 nights. So I like, if Kyrie doesn't play, then he's not. I mean, it's a road game. He can't play at home. Like, he's not doing his job. So yeah, I think the big three play. If they do, we're off all of them. I think you can make a case for some of the Bulls guys. Look what they've been doing in minimal run. Like, their prices have come down a little bit relative to where they were. And matchup wise, I do think it's a really good spot for Zach LaVine. I don't know if I'll get there. I'm starting to like Donovan Mitchell and a few of these other players a little bit better. But you could also make a case for Lonzo Ball, who's looked really good. DeMar DeRozan, I think, has a tougher matchup. They can throw KD on him, and KD pretty good, real like tough defender, just long, can make it really tough on you. Vucevic is the guy that you think would like destroy this matchup, but he's been passive at times. So a tough spot, one that like I'm going to be watching. Everyone should watch this game. ESPN, it's going to be a phenomenal basketball game. As far as DFS goes, I don't like feel the need to play anyone here. If I were going to play someone, it'd be Lonzo Ball or Zach LaVine is kind of where I'd be going.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's not a game I'm going to go overboard on. I'm expecting them to play like you are. If we get news in 5 minutes that says Harden and Kyrie are out, it's going to change the whole slate for sure. That's what we have the Up to Lock show for. We're getting some news that's coming in. Kemba is ruled out. With the Up to Lock show, we'll touch on that. I still don't love that Knicks game too much, but the Up to Lock show, we'll talk about that. As we said, 9-game slate. We got through all 9 games. We pretty much crossed off 2 games, made it a 7-game slate, showed a lot more interest in some games than other games. I think we're in a good path, AP. 2-man booth. We tackled it. Appreciate you guys hitting the like button. What do we got? I said 250, 252. We appreciate it. If you haven't hit it and want to hit it, we appreciate it. Thanks for everyone hanging out in chat, making it fun. It's about time for the plays of the day, though. I'm going to go to myself first. AP is going to cap it off and get us out of here with his play of the day. But I'm going to go to my boy, Tyrese Halliburton. I talked about him a little bit just a game ago. He's 7K. He's shown big boy upside. He's point guard and shooting guard eligible. Point guard's loaded with Dinwiddie, with DeJounte Murray and stuff. So I'm probably going to play him at shooting guard. I love his upside. I think if you want to play LeBron as a spend up and Tyrese, that makes a lot of sense. He fills it up peripheral stats. He has triple-double upside. So give me Tyrese Halliburton at 7K as the SO play of the day. AP, the gentleman's call of the day to cap it off. Who do you got for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to. I gotta say one thing. So with Dinwiddie, I know we said he's a lot top overall player in this league. Okay, and this could be a full galaxy brain, but with all the plays that we talked about, with many good different spots tonight, and with the Wizards on a back-to-back. Dinwiddie was like, I mean, he played 34 minutes. It was a close game down the stretch. Like, I don't think he's going to like play, 38 minutes on a back-to-back. So, and the other thing too is the one thing Gary Harris can still do is he's a decent defender. You can like, if you want to get really different, you could move off of him with all these other guards. I just wanted to put that out there. He's right now, he's a core play for me. But I do want to get different on.
You'd rather fade Dinwiddie than Okongwu is what you're saying.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's so many good guards, and like, let's just say Dinwiddie puts up 44 tonight, 43 or 44. I mean, I don't know. I'm not like necessarily dead, like if he does that, But if Dinwiddie
you'd want him at 6. You'd want him at 6.
Wait, no, I would, but yeah, no. I mean, I would, but
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it comes down to what my other guys are doing. Like, Am I going to play him? The high likelihood I play him. I'm just saying, if you're a tournament player, if you like to get contrarian, I think there's ways to move off some of this chalk. We see, how could it bust? Kyle Kuzma dominated this matchup. The ball was in his hands. This was with Beal and Dinwiddie on the court the last time they faced the Magic. Kuzma carved them up, like absolutely carved them up.
You can miss shots. There's always pass to fail. I get what you're saying for sure.
Yeah. Yep. So my play of the day, I'm looking at where's it pat like, okay, so Donovan Mitchell, he is my play of the day. And let me explain why. Mitchell's a guy who's content. He's usually raw scoring dependent, plays a ton of minutes, gets a ton of opportunities. He's going to have all of those opportunities tonight. And what they're going to have to do, in my opinion, they're going to need all of these guys crashing the board. So like, while rebounding is not a strong suit of his, I think tonight, it's going to be a team effort on the board. So I'm going to bump up his projected rebounds a little bit. I think he's still going to have to create, and he's going to have to play a ton of minutes tonight. So, and I think he's going to be under 5% owned maybe, and maybe I'm looking at old ownership projections, but
he won't be very young.
Yeah, I'm going to go Donovan Mitchell. I think he needs to have a big game. And I think if you look at the spread, like has the spread changed that much in this game? Let me take a look.
If it didn't, I'm betting Cavaliers if it did.
Yeah, they're still 5-point favorite.
Yeah.
So this game is projected to stay close. Donovan Mitchell's going to have to do a lot tonight. I think he's going to have a nice like 53 piece or something like that.
I like it for sure. Donovan Mitchell, Tyrese Halliburton. I'm going to bet the Cavaliers after this. You know, guys, I mean, I'm not a professional bettor. The bet side is what that's for. But if you want to tail, you can tail. Always bet responsibly. Appreciate you guys all hanging out. You guys making me laugh. Steve Anthony says DC's scouting spin rates. Craig's talking about spider tack. Yeah, DC's already grinding the baseball. Spider tack, spin rates, good stuff. Appreciate you guys all hanging out with us. Ricky Hudson, Randy, Mike, Nabi. Thanks, guys, making this show fun. Show makes it fun because you guys in chat participate. Looking to see the RPS logos up top today. Wednesdays are always a lot of fun. 9 games. Up to lock show, very important. Holden, JSU, Big T, the big guns, bringing you up to lock today. Still waiting on some news that we'll get and they'll talk about. Thanks for hanging out with us. That'll do it, though. For AP, Simon behind the sticks, I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.